Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sam here from the TNR channel, and today, if you watched yesterday's video, the Flash Season 2 review, today you might have come back for the Arrow Season 4 review, which I think I said I was going to do, but if not, this is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing the Arrow Season 4 review. Like with the Flash Season 2 review, I'm going to be doing a synopsis of the show, so basically just going over the key points and relevance to this season, and then I'm going to be doing my own personal review on it, and just all the key facts. So, let's get into it. So, Arrow Season 4 takes place 6 months after the events of Arrow Season 3. So after the events of Season 3, Ra's al Ghul's tried to destroy the city, Oliver kills Ra's al Ghul, and then obviously Oliver and Felicity go to Ivy Town, which is a place where they start off in Season 4. Now, when they're in Ivy Town for 6 months, and then you go back to Team Arrow, who are currently fighting a new group of soldiers who are heavily armed and heavily dangerous called the Ghosts. Now, Team Arrow, realising that they can't do this without Felicity and Oliver, decide to go get them back. And once they've got them back, they all, Oliver he's kind of against the idea of being back for the first couple of episodes in Season 4, but then he finally understands that's what he's obviously meant to do. So, yeah, they go back, Oliver gets his new costume, and he outs himself as the Green Arrow. During the first episode as well, this is basically going to be what I'm going to be talking about for a lot of the start of this video, because obviously episode 1 introduces new characters and introduces everything. So the main villain of Season 4 of Arrow is Damien Darhk. Now, Damien Darhk, if you don't know who he is, was briefly mentioned by Ra's al Ghul in Season 3 when he was training Oliver. He mentioned Damien Darhk and about how Damien Darhk was one of the heir to the demons with Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's was tasked to kill him, but he couldn't, and then Darhk escaped and obviously went on with his life. So Darhk's the main villain for Season 4, and Oliver... and he has magic, basically. His abilities are magic. He basically has the Force. You know, if you watch it and you watch Star Wars, you'll basically realise he has the Force. That's basically what he can do. So, the team carry on fighting the Ghost up until, like, the third episode. Oliver decides to run for mayor as he realises that the city is crumbling to pieces and they also need a hero without a mask. Once Oliver starts running for mayor, he continues protecting Star City from the day as mayor and from the night as Green Arrow. So he carries on doing that. And then in the mid-season finale, Darhk eventually reveals himself to Star City, and his ghosts attack... the ghosts attack an event Oliver is doing for the city, cleaning up the rubbish in the sea, and they all attack. They attack all the children and all the participants working on the event. And then later on, when Oliver's explaining it, Darhk kidnaps Felicity, Thea, Diggle, and basically most of the team. Oliver also gets knocked out, and then when Oliver comes to and he goes to go find the rest of the team, he finds out that they're locked up and Darhk is ready to kill them. Now, once Darhk has them on death row, Oliver teams up with Malcolm Merlyn after the Flash crossover episode. Malcolm comes back for a bit. Sarah is also brought back to life in earlier episodes, but that's not really key. That's mentioned more in my Legends of Tomorrow video. But yeah, so once the team are all captured, Oliver teams up with Merlyn to set them free. Merlyn imposes as the Green Arrow, and Oliver goes as himself to hand himself over. And then all of the team attack, and then they eventually end up saving them. But Felicity also gets paralysed at the end of the episode. Now, this is a very, very big turning point for the season, because after the mid-season finale, Oliver and Felicity's relationship hits a wall. Dark becomes more powerful and he starts growing ever more powerful. So after the mid-season finale, you open up with Oliver crumbling to pieces after Felicity's after her paralysis takes place. Oliver's fallen to pieces. He lets his darkness escape again. He becomes dark, basically. He becomes really dark. He starts nearly killing ghosts, and he becomes the Dark Oliver we were used to in season 1 and 2 of Arrow. He becomes all brutal, merciless, and then and once he's done that, the whole team starts falling apart. Basically, all of the team starts falling apart. Oliver's losing his mind. But then, when Dark captures Oliver's son later on, Dark captures Oliver's son, and at that point, Oliver's completely enraged at Dark, and he goes to Dark, and with help of Vixen, a character who is in the DC Comics and also has her own animated show, she's introduced in the show. Whether she'll have a future CW solo show, we don't know. She destroys Dark's idol, and then Oliver eventually beats Dark and puts him in prison, while saving his son William from Dark after he is kidnapped by him. So, for the next 2 episodes, everything starts looking up again for Team Arrow. Oliver and Felicity do break up, but everything starts to look well for the team again. No threats, everything's going back together. Oliver and the team are forced to take measures like stopping the ghosts, but they eventually come over it, and everything goes chill for a couple of episodes for the team. There is an episode where Palmer Technologies comes under attack, but other than that, there's not really much else that happens up until episode 18. Now, throughout episode 18 of season 4, Dark starts getting accomplices within the prison, familiar faces like Brick from season 3, and also just familiar faces. He starts getting in familiar faces from season 3, and he starts making a prison break, really. So Dark plans his prison break while Laurel is offered by Ruve Dark to come and work as the head DA. Oliver also had to drop out of the race. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Oliver also had to drop out of the race to save William's life. So yeah, that happens, and then in episode 18, Dark escapes custody, and he breaks out, and his idol is refixed after Andy Diggle betrays the team again and finds out he's working for Dark. So the team carry on fighting Dark. They go to the prison, and Laurel is stabbed by Dark and is eventually killed. This sets Diggle off on a completely mad rage, like Oliver was earlier on in the season. This sends him on a complete mad rage. He assaults Ruve Dark. He goes around assaulting all the ghosts. He goes brutal and merciless after Laurel's death by his own fault, by protecting his brother, who was obviously working for Dark. So Diggle obviously puts all of the weight on his shoulders. He says that Laurel's death was his fault, and he starts going down a really dark path. When Oliver assures Diggle that it is not his fault, the team start to oil themselves back together, and they have to obviously stop Dark. Now, Oliver has to find a way to counteract Dark's magic after it's more powerful than ever. After Rubicon, a program that can detonate all the missiles in the world, it can send them all, is stolen by Dark in episode 20 from Lila Michaels, who was Diggle's wife. The Rubicon is stolen by Dark, and Dark obviously threatens to destroy the world in a nuclear fire. Now, this leads to the Calculator, Felicity's dad, coming back, and they work together to just stop Rubicon, but unfortunately one missile does hit, and Monument Point is hit, and it's said that obviously Dark's magic is actually powered by death. So after tens of thousands of lives are lost, Dark is more powerful than ever, and he's basically unstoppable by the team until Oliver decides in the season finale to team up with the city and eventually take Dark down. And they do it because all of the power of the light outweighs Dark's power. And Oliver eventually ends up fighting Dark in the season finale, and they end up beating him. After they've beaten him, all the team go their separate ways. They decide after the horrific events that happened this season that they all need to get a break and go somewhere. So, yeah, guys, that was the plot synopsis for Arrow Season 4. I'm sorry if I missed anything. This episode isn't really about the plot synopsis of Arrow. It's more about the reviews. The plot synopsis is more of just a quick thing to get out of the way, so I'm sorry if I missed any major details to the season. I've only been watching the episodes as they come out, and I haven't been watching them again, so I'm just going off what I remember. So now, guys, time for my review. So first off, what I want to speak about is the team. So Team Arrow is they all form back together in this team, and I don't think I liked the way they all fit back together, because they're all angry with each other to start with, and then it seems every time they forgive each other for something somebody does, they get angry at another thing, and throughout the season the team are always just falling apart for some reason, and I just didn't really like the team this season. Now the villain. Now Damien Dark, I love Damien Dark. He was a sarcastic, funny villain. He made me laugh on occasions. He was evil. He was truly evil. He was a truly evil character, and he was sarcastic, he was funny, and he was just truly, truly evil. Now, that's why I like Damien Dark. I love Damien Dark. He was a great villain. His character was great. His actor was great. The only thing I did not like about him was his magic. Now, guys, I know you might be thinking, like, Flash is made up of purely magic. But I like Flash because that's what it's about. Flash is basically about magic and everything and all powers. But Arrow is supposed to be the show that stays away from all that. And Arrow is supposed to be the show that, it stays to reality, while Flash goes to non-fiction. So while Flash is supposed to be the show that stays in the realm of fictional things that will never happen, while Arrow is supposed to be the non-fiction, which is actually can be true. And that's why I didn't like Arrow as much this season, because I think they kind of drifted away from the real meaning of Arrow like they did in season 1 and 2, and that's why I really dislike Dark's magic. I mean, I just really did not like Dark's magic, and I think a lot of the fans didn't either. Okay, the plot. Now, I thought the plot for season 4 was a bit ragged at times. It was okay. It was alright, but I think it did get ragged at times. It was fine, okay, I'll just say it was fine. It was an alright plot, but it was nowhere near touch the plot of Flash Season 2 or Legends of Tomorrow Season 1. The next thing I want to talk about is the actual actors themselves, so new characters. So you were introduced to Alex, who was Oliver's... this is the final thing I want to talk about, the new characters. So you were introduced to Alex, who was Oliver's helper when he was in the mayoral campaign, and then later goes on to be Ruve Dark's helper. And then, I didn't like his character at all. I think he was he didn't really have any significance at all. I just didn't really like him. Also, in episode, I think it was either 19 or 20, we were introduced to a new Black Canary who tuned the Canary Cry to her own voice. So I think she was a really cool opportunity, and maybe she could come back in, maybe like Arrow, or maybe even Legends of Tomorrow, she could become a legend. Either way, I just think she should not be wasted, as they've got a new actor, a new potential in that character. Damien Dark, like I've said about him, the villain, he was good. I didn't like his magic part, but I really loved his character. I don't think there was any more new actors, but if I have missed any more of the new characters, please leave a comment below. But anyway, guys, that was my Arrow synopsis and review for season 4 of the show. Thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy it, why not like and maybe even subscribe. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching my Arrow season 4 review and synopsis, and I will speak to you in our next video. Bye, guys.